For safety reasons, it's important the robot stop when requested. It's also important that all robots stop after exactly 30 seconds during the autonomous period of the first Tech Challenge game. In this video, we'll demonstrate how to ensure that your robot will stop when you select stop on the driver station. Handling stop requests correctly will also avoid having the Blox environment intercede for you, generating a stuck-on-stop error and forcing a reset of your robot. Here we see an op mode that moves a robot forward for 3 seconds. Let's see what happens if we try to stop it during those 3 seconds. It didn't stop. If the robot had collided with something, its motors would have continued to run, possibly causing damage. The Blox environment will stop the robot if stop is pressed and there is no response for 2.5 seconds, but that gives the robot too much time to damage itself, the field, or other robots. We'll show how to improve the op mode so that the robot will stop immediately when a stop is requested. The loop checks for the 3 seconds to elapse, but it doesn't check to see if a stop has been requested. Let's change the loop condition so it checks for a stop request. We use an OR block so that either a stop request or an elapsed time of 3 seconds will stop the motors. Thanks to the code we've added, the robot stops immediately when the driver presses stop. Not everything a robot does is controlled by a repeat loop. Here we show an addition to our op mode that uses a feature of the motor controller to cause the motors to run until a motor encoder position is reached. In this case, it causes the robot to move backward for 4 revolutions of the motor's axles. If you're not familiar with using motor encoders, see the video displayed at the link shown. What if stop is requested by a driver while the robot is moving forward and before the op mode sets up the run to position? That's not good. The robot moved backward even though stop had been pressed. To fix this problem, we use an if-do block so the instructions to the robot motor controller are not issued if stop has already been requested. Because of the change we made, the robot doesn't start the run to position if stop has been pressed. What if the driver presses stop while the motor controller is waiting for the target position to be reached? More bad behavior. To account for this possibility, we replace the not busy condition in the repeat until loop with an OR block. We put the is stop requested on the left side and check for motors busy on the right. When the controller is no longer busy or stop is requested on the driver station, the repeat until will stop looping and the power of both motors will be set to 0. The changes we've made cause the robot to stop immediately when stop is pressed on the driver station. We need to be able to stop our robot if something goes wrong during the autonomous period. To do so, we check for is stop requested in each repeat loop. If we're using a feature of a controller to cause the robot to do something, we check for stop requested before we do so. We also check for stop requested while the controller is performing our request. Another approach would be to monitor op mode is active, as it's false whenever stop requested is true. Either way works just as well.